What is up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the real of reality TV. It seems like either every day or maybe every other day, just news is coming out that's showing how much of a bad investment it seems that Porsha Williams, not Guobadia, but Porsha Williams has been for ROA and NBC Universal. And I questioned it from the very beginning, even before the news broke that she filed for divorce. And I heard that they made a deal with her to create scripted television for NBC Universal. I was like, who was she sleeping with to get that deal? Because what in her background, what experience does she have to be able to do something like that? And I know people make comments and people have their views and opinions about Candy's acting and the other things that she's done, and that's fine. But at least she has the experience. What experience does Porsha have to do that? Let's just be honest. But anyway, radaronline is reporting that she's still unable to film inside Simon Guobadia's mansion that he's forced to pay for. So the cameras won't be rolling inside the mansion Porsha Williams shared with Simon Guobadia when season 16 filming begins. And if her ex wants to enter the home, he better get permission. Legal documents obtained by radaronline.com revealed the court has decided to stay out of the filming drama for now, declaring the judge will not discuss the issue until the hearing over their prenuptial agreement. The parties raised the issue of whether the terms of the prenuptial agreement permits or prohibits filming/recording in the marital residence. As this matter was not formally noticed for an evidentiary hearing on the substantive issues surrounding the parties' prenuptial agreement, the court reserves those issues for later determination. The order that was dated May 31st read, as such, there has been no consideration of the terms of the prenuptial agreement and whether its provisions prohibit or allow filming in the marital residence of the parties. Therefore, there should be no reliance on the court for enforcement of either party's position regarding the same until after such time as the issue has been heard and ruled upon by Judge Charles Eaton Jr. The temporary order also rehashed that Porsha has immediate sole and exclusive use, control, and possession of the marital home, adding Simon is still on the hook for payments and cannot enter the property without prior written consent. Neither party shall enter the other's residence without prior written consent, parentheses, text or email is sufficient. Should husband need to retrieve additional personal belongings from the marital residence, husband shall request same in writing through counsel no less than 24 hours in advance and shall be permitted to retrieve his personal property at a time and date agreeable to the parties. While Porsha has temporary sole use of the mansion, Simon is responsible for the timely payment of the 1, monthly mortgage payment, 2, taxes, 3, homeowners insurance, 4, utilities, 5, security system, 6, landscaping, and 7, community/homeowners association dues and assessments. As radaronline.com reported, the ROA star filed for divorce from Simon in February after 15 months of marriage. The exes are locked in a nasty war over the prenuptial agreement, with Porsha demanding the contract they signed before the 2022 wedding be enforced. Simon argued that her financial status has drastically changed, pointing to Porsha's multi-millions deal with NBC Universal Entertainment, which she signed just days before ending their marriage. Porsha recently filed an emergency order demanding she be allowed to film ROA inside their marital residence. She argued it was vital to her ability to sustain her income and employment. However, the production company behind the franchise made it clear producers would not tape inside the property until given permission by the court. In order for Truly Original to be able to film at a private residence, we are required to secure a release for filming by the property owner. If a property owner does not consent, or there are circumstances where joint owners don't agree regarding the release, we require court order that provides one party with the explicit ability to do so. Given Mr. Guobadia has served Truly Original with a cease and desist as well as 2 subpoenas, we require explicit written permission, whether by consent or court order, to limit the production company's exposure to litigation with Mr. Guobadia. So basically, this is what it's looking like. It's looking like Porsha may be winning a portion of the battle, but I really don't think she's going to win the war, because even though they're naming it as marital residence, meaning this is where they lived while they were married, technically he bought the home prior to them getting married, and he's the one that's fitting the bill. He's having to pay for everything. So do you really think that they're going to give her this house in this divorce settlement? Not even a settlement. It would be, because a settlement would mean he would be giving it up. In a divorce ruling, do you really think the court is going to give her this residence? I just believe they're allowing her to live there for now until everything gets ruled, because they don't want to just kick her out on the streets. But honestly, she wouldn't be out on the streets because she has a home that I believe her mom is living in right now. But if she doesn't feel that the house that she owned and owns is up to par for filming in, and she wants something more extravagant and more spectacular, she could rent something that is more amazing than what she initially had, I'm quite sure. And then she could use it as a business write-off, because when you are working on these shows, you're technically not an employee. You are an independent contractor. You're not receiving a W-2 form. You're not filling out a W-4. They're not taking taxes out of your paycheck. You're responsible for all of your own taxes and everything. So technically, you are an independent contractor. So all of your expenses are tax write-offs. Rent something more spectacular and use it as a tax write-off, and film out of that. Because I just really feel like Porsha is making this situation a lot worse than it needs to be, because she's holding up filming of anything regarding her life in a residence right now, because the court is not going to rule on that. And it's also not looking good for her. And again, these are just my opinions. Even though I was a legal assistant for 12 years, I'm not involved in this case. And I've never been an attorney. I was a legal assistant. So, we know what that doesn't mean that I ever was an attorney practicing law. But at some points I felt like it, because I was doing a whole lot of the work for the attorneys while they were out on the golf course. But that's another story for another day. But I'm just basically saying that when it comes to this situation, they are going to look at the fact that she signed this deal days before she filed for divorce. She was only married to him for 15 months. Like, do you really think in a divorce, they had no children together? Yeah, she has a child and he has children, but they don't have any children together that they share. So do you really think that they're going to put him on the hook for her to be able to stay in this home and then sell it, and then she gets whatever portion of the equity? And how much equity do you really think is in the house when he purchased the house, maybe, I don't know how many months before, but months before they got married? We know that the real estate market has been crazy and home prices have drastically increased in a lot of areas. But even with that being said, it takes years to build equity, because you've got all of the interest and all of the other things that are tacked on. So it takes a minute before you're touching the principal, because you're paying off a lot of interest in the beginning. Okay. So unless he was just making crazy payments and paying down the mortgage, I don't believe that there's going to be much for her to pull from when it comes to the equity when he sells the house, because he's going to sell it. He's not keeping that house. Trust and believe that, because he sold 2, he said, residences to get the down payment to buy this house. So again, I'm not saying that I feel sorry for Simon and that he is a victim, because you get what you pay for. And this is what he paid for. And Porsha, she is not a victim either. I definitely don't feel sorry for her. I do believe that ultimately he's going to get what he's looking for the most part. I'm not saying that he's going to get everything, but even right now, she's able to stay in the house, but she's not able to film in the house. And that's what she filed that emergency order for, or motion, I should say. She can't file an order. She filed that emergency motion for them to be able to film her in the residence, saying that it was drastically necessary for her paycheck and for her earnings being on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And it didn't work out in her favor. So she didn't get what she wanted right now. But yeah, she's able to still live in the house. So she's being petty and doing the lives and, you know, doing the other stuff that she does, and the little reels and whatever, and showcasing her living this pretty much borrowed time, fabulous lifestyle. It's so phony. It's so phony. It's so ridiculous. But I just wanted to talk about this because I'm just ready for this to be over. But until it is, and the news comes out about it, we're going to be talking about it over here. So let me know, guys, what you think about this in the comment section. Thanks for being here, liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.